like agonizing over hi-hat mics. This is definitely like a profession for like just, I have friends that, people I know that are just like, I just want to set it and forget it. I don't want to change per project. I don't want to like move anything. I just kind of want to be able to turn on my shit and play drums and record it. And that's totally fine. I guess the varying, like the differences in projects, I don't find that's a great way to do things because it's like not a one size fits all, especially like, drums all sound different, snares sound different. But one thing I have found is like, I'll just sit here if I'm like waiting for someone to hit me back about tracks, like, or, revisions and stuff. And I'll just like, move a hi-hat mic, play, move it, angle it different, play, record, and just see what sounds the best. And then I'll, remember, write it down. I have like a whole notebook of placements in this room. So that's like a huge part of this job, I feel like, or to do it. It's totally like neurotic, but it's definitely, it just gets you the best drum sounds, I think. And especially like kind of knowing your equipment and not overthinking it, but that totally is overthinking it, but just like little moves, like, and it's not crazy. Usually some stuff you move it and you're like, that sounds exactly the same, so leave it. One thing though, if you want to get in on this is something I've learned and I just won't change it anymore, but it's the best way to get a bottom snare sound is how you mic the top snare is basically, kind of a cross for more attack, more down for some of the beefier body. Why would you not do that for the bottom snare? So I kind of have it going across the snares, very similar to the top snare. And a lot of people do this thing, which sounds fine, but it's also just one of those, like, you're getting a lot of the body of the snare, and I just want that, like, so just having it kind of glance across, I find it sounds much better. It's way more usable. I actually have people, like, say that I like mixed in the bottom snare, dude. It sounded nice. So I don't know why the idea is just to go straight up the middle, but I don't do that anymore. I definitely used to do that because that's what you just see everyone do, but I don't know. It's not for me anymore. But yeah, so toms, you were asking about those. With these ribbons, they're pretty far back, but too close, it's just, there's so much more like, I wouldn't even say attack. It's almost more just like a plosive. The SPLs are high, and these are very cheap. So I kind of backed off on it to also get the nature of a ribbon is like let the tom like bloom, and I want the tom sound to sound like the tom and not just that. Usually I use M88s a lot for toms, and I'll usually use those kind of like across a little bit as well, but not like right on. And then I don't do the like this thing. That's just so much attack. I want some body, and then you can scoop all that out if you want. But that's same thing. These are not as great this far back. So these I definitely an M88. These dynamics are more like that. But yeah, these ribbons when I got them like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I just was again I just got them, and I had like an hour or two, and I just messed with them, and I had them high, like really low. I kind of have them tilted to get they're figure 8, so the null is facing, relatively, it's picking up like this. So this cymbal's kind of in the null, and then this same thing with the ride, it's kind of like cocked over to that side, and that works better. These things have amazing rejection anyways. So that's the logic between that. But a lot of this is just trial and error. Like get a new piece of gear, set an hour aside, and just like mess with it. Try it really close, try it farther away, like up, down. Same with the kick. Like I won't just put this in the same place every time. Sometimes it sounds better dead center. Sometimes it sounds better, the kick out, like kind of more on the, closer to the edge, kick in if it's way closer to the beater head or like just barely inside. It's all just different. And I definitely don't waste time, especially if there's someone here. I'm not trying to like waste their time. I know it'll sound good like this. Well, let's go. And if it sounds good, we're like moving on. But sometimes I just like alone, I'll just definitely get more of like a lay of the land about like what I can do. Like it's and obviously some things it's more attack if you move it closer. It's a little fluffier if you pull it back. But that stuff's just trial and error. And I think there's like an endless excursion here. So I think that's a pretty cool part of this job that I really like, because it's literally endless, and swapping out mics, and you can change it. And this session's totally different than another session next week. This guy moving up or down, that's definitely project dependent. If I kind of, you want a lo-fi, like way bigger bass drum, I'll drop this like down here more. I have had this over here, and there's just like way too much ride, so you're like, that sucks, you need to move it over. Overheads, I have them right now they're the same distance, equidistance from the snare center. I did measure those. I don't always do that. They're just pretty flat because I wanted a full kit picture for this. Sometimes, you can, if you tilt them this way, you're getting more, it's just like cymbal mics, and you're relying more on the close mics for the drum sound. Back here, you're getting more of that full kit picture, but more cymbals. Everything's just kind of, I guess trial and error, but sometimes I'll listen back to on some track I did, years ago, and I'm like, that sounds kind of crazy. Like, what was or I'll see a picture or like an Instagram video, and I'm like, whoa, I had those like mic'd in a weird way I wouldn't do anymore, but you're just always learning, and it's not bad, it's just like something you've evolved into doing something better. And then rooms, that's always like I'll mess with the height if I want kind of more like high end, or if I want them lower, like some smushy, you can smash the bass a little bit. Bass frequencies. Yeah, lofts just kind of live up there. There's just road cases and stuff up there. Boxes and stuff. So when I do go up there, I'll usually just randomly move one or both of them. There's another, just look way further back facing this way right now, but I've had them like this, whatever. Yeah.